Overpowered MCs can really make an anime fantastic, but the best part of these animes is the climb from nothing, overcoming all the odds and becoming an ultra-powerful beast. Even better when our MC is officially considered the lowest rank. This makes the final reveal of the sheer overpoweredness all the much sweeter.
为了荣耀，为了总冠军。
Thanks for joining us once again at Animeology. We have a brilliant list of animes you need to check out. We're not looking at the biggest names, we're looking for high-quality animes that you probably haven't heard of, but you need to be watching.
Reload on fire.
Number 10. Gakusen Toshi Asterix. An absolute fantastic series that is aimed at a slightly older audience, but still a brilliant anime. What sets the Asterix War apart from the rest is its dedication to world building and character backstory. The Asterix War is not afraid to introduce new and unique characters that look to contribute to the story in new and exciting ways. Within no time, it's hard not to get dragged into the immersive and unbelievable world that has been created for us. Set in a grim 21st century Earth with an economy in shambles, mega corporations rule the planet after a catastrophic event completely ruined most of the planet's cities and actually resulted in humans gaining some insane superpowers. In the city of Rika, or Asterix, we follow 6 academies in which students participate in battle tournaments. We focus primarily on one of the worst schools in the district and follow Ayoto Amigari, the best fighter at this academy. Alongside the epic tournament-style battles, there is an extremely intricate and interesting subplot regarding the disappearance of Ayoto's sister. A phenomenal series with many levels to it, and a great reason to learn more about this interesting world. Number 9. Alderman on the Sky. Being a more focused and serious military look at the otherwise relaxed and whimsical world of fantasy, Alderman of the Sky is a fresh and unique blend of genres that is not afraid to take some big risks in terms of characters and overarching story. Our main hero is Itaka Solork, an extremely brilliant and highly intelligent war strategist that despises war, fighting and violence. One of the coolest MCs you will come across, Ikta has a pretty downwards and depressed look on life and isn't afraid to express his opinions. Very blunt and truthful, maintaining a character at the core of Alderman on the Sky is what made it such a brilliant watch. A great lover of older women and somewhat difficult to get along with, Alderman spices up the additional characters as they all begin to play off each other in a very interesting and highly engaging way. A brilliant watch from start to end, you should definitely check out this series. Number 8. Sky Wizards Academy. An interesting backstory and world building really sets Sky Wizards Academy apart from the rest. A fun mix of science fantasy with a brilliant harem that will have you eager for more. This is an anime series that doesn't really innovate, but does what it sets out to do really well. Telling the story of humanity scared off by the threat of these huge magical armoured insects. The remaining humans have been forced to live in these gigantic floating cities in the sky. Our main form of defence against these incredibly dangerous insects are wizards. Fighting these insects in some very cinematic and exciting mid-air magical battles, we follow the story of Katana H, a young man that attends a wizard's academy in one of these floating cities. Once well known and loved as the Black Master Swordsman, an elite ace fighter, he has now fallen from grace and is largely described as a traitor of the special team. The story kicks off when Katana is assigned 3 wizard girls with particularly hidden powers and is tasked with training them and getting them ready to defend humanity against the future attacks of these dangerous magical insects. Number 7. Hidan no Ari.
奴は警戒する。だが別の場所を狙って油断させれば。
There is far too much swordplay and magic across anime. Sometimes it's nice to just take a step back and enjoy some good old-fashioned shooting. Ari, the Scarlet Arrow, as it's known in English, is a tidy little romantic comedy that has some exceptionally intense action scenes that kept us hooked. Set in a world ridden with rapidly worsening crime, we learn about special schools that are established in order to fight crime. The students at these schools learn about different specialised fields, from wielding certain weapons to different fighting techniques. Following Kinji Toyama, a student that drops out one of these academies due to personal reasons, and is soon attacked by a rapidly rising serial killer in Kinjin's life. And Kinjin's life is changed forever as he gets wrapped up in this crazy manhunt for a serial killer, not really sure who exactly he can trust. Number 6. Bahamut Chronicles. Another brilliant addition to the seriously underrated mecha anime genre, Bahamut Chronicles is a must-watch series for most anime fans. Don't worry, the mecha stuff doesn't really get too technical or heavy, and the series balances its fantasy elements exceptionally well. We learn of a revolt that plagued the Arcania Empire around 5 years ago. The former prince of the empire accidentally walked into the female-only bathing area and learns a deep, dark secret about the new princess of the kingdom. After a duel, Lux is forced to attend a female-only academy in order to become a royal knight. As you can imagine, there's a lot of room for comedy and a bit of a catch-eye in this series. But trust us when we tell you the fan service is reasonably well done. It does not get overwhelming and does not detract from the core story and the epic mecha battles. There are some deeply emotional scenes and some extremely heavy themes that are covered in the undefeatable Bahamut Chronicles. The series walks a fine line across many genres and does so perfectly. Number 5. Grimm's Notes, the animation. Based on the highly popular free-to-play RPG that we actually adore, the anime spin-off took many of what made the original game so great and brought one of the highly engaging and heartfelt stories that puts the series on a completely different level. Grimm's Notes takes heavy inspiration from classic characters based on fairy tales and various children's stories. Famous legends such as Little Red Riding Hood to Cinderella's inspiration can be seen throughout. The core story behind the series is about a group of powerful magicians that are looking to rewrite these fairy tale stories and thereafter change the fate of the world. Each of the interesting and fun characters we meet in Grimm's Notes stems from a classic fairy tale, and their role within the part is very clearly defined. From healers to shooters to attackers and defenders, the strong video game inspiration does become apparent at times, but the fun and exciting game world and the extremely strong and clear overarching story guarantees Grimm's Notes will go down as one of the greatest animes we've seen in a very long time ago. Yeah. Number 4. Blade Dance of Elementors. An extremely long-running light novel and manga series that definitely needs another anime series out soon. Blade Dance of Elementors is an underrated classic, well known in certain circles. You cannot consider yourself a true anime fan until you've checked out this brilliant anime. Action and comedy have never been done so well. Set in a strange world filled with spirits, only maidens can contact these spirits and attend specialized spirit academy schools in order to hone their talents as elementalists. That all changes when Kamito Kazuhaya shows up. Our MC is on his way to the esteemed Spirit Academy and loses his way in the forest, stumbling across a young girl, Claire, in the forest. He manages to save her when her attempts to contact a sealed sword spirit go wrong and forms a binding contract that makes him the only male elementalist in the world. The perfect setup of comedy and some light romance with an absolutely brilliant and breathtaking action scenes. there's a reason why I think absolutely everybody needs to check out Blade Dance of the Elementors. Number 3. Blood Lad. Although aimed at a slightly older crowd, I consider Blood Lad one of the greatest seinen series that I can't help but rewatch. A brilliantly bitter and grim dark comedy that tells us about the interesting and strange world of modern-day vampires. Through the eyes of Stas, an insanely powerful vampire boss within the demon world, unlike other vampires, he chooses not to feed on humans and prefers to indulge in the otaku lifestyle, the usual reading manga, watching animes and playing video games. One day, Fuyumi Yanagi, a classic Japanese high school girl, stumbles into the demon world through the portal. Stas gets excited to meet her, but a demon challenges Stas and attacks. Fuyumi is killed by accident and becomes a ghost. This really kicks off the story of Blood Lad. Stas vows to bring the girl back to life, and the two depart on a journey to save her. Meeting an ever-increasing cast of interesting characters, Blood Lad could be considered a supernatural anime, but really spreads its wings and soars far above that title. Number 2. Black Bullet. A bit older than most of the animes on this list, but still very watchable, The Black Bullet brings us an absolutely brilliant post-apocalyptic world that we get to enjoy through many series of high-octane and fast-paced vacation. A fun watch that will have you on the edge of your seat from the very first episode. You do not want to miss out on Black Bullet. Set in a distant and futuristic year of 2021, yeah, we know, mankind is ravaged by a parasitic virus. Yes, we realise. Black Bullet tells the story of mankind forced to live within huge walls made of special material. Missed that one. We learn of Sun, children that were born infected with the virus and were granted superhuman abilities. These cursed children could only be female, and the remainder of mankind creates specialised fighting branches in order to battle against these cursed children. These fighting branches consist of duos, a cursed child and a promoter, a normal, healthy human to guide and keep the cursed child in line. Set 10 years after the outbreak of the virus, we follow a young promoter as he conducts missions to keep mankind safe. And number 1, the King's Avatar. A fresh hot series that has 2 seasons so far with no signs of stopping. The King's Avatar focuses heavily on the very real world of esports. Starting off as a web novel, the series has been a huge hit since its anime adaptation and brings the classic heart-pumping adrenaline stakes of a sports anime into the world of esports. Telling us a story of Yi Zhu, a professional esports player that is widely considered one of the greatest players on the planet. Captain of one of the best teams, Yi Zhu was forced to resign from the team and leave the scene due to his refusal to take part in various marketing and scammy business practices. The story kicks off with Yi Zhu's fallen from grace and working as the night shift manager of an internet cafe. Making some new friends and building some heartfelt and emotional connections, Yi Zhu decides to return back to the competitive scene, starting up a fresh character and setting off on the journey to the championship and hopefully glory.